So the subconscious can interpret the sublime before you can use your syntax and neuroplasticity to either try to explain or decrypt the sublime. The subconscious already has it. I tried to elucidate how something about quantum realms or fields have an aspect of eroticism, and there's a little bit of humor. It's not allegory, it's straight up sublime. The missing phallus of Osiris that Set could not locate to reconstruct his body. The way they're talking about this in the mythology, which is technology that makes for grotesque history. They're stating that the technology to bury lots of dried or dead fall wood, like dead fall wood, dried extra wood, basically. There was like surplus, okay? It acts like a sponge underground. Wood will soak up water and slow release throughout the hot part of the summer. So in places like Missouri, where the Choctaw built mounds, it was like another type of djed pillar. They tried to lock in the moisture in this deadfall wood, or this like wood that they buried in the deepest part of the mound, which also sounds like a sexual reference. But like, why is it missing? Why is the wooden phallus? What was it? Okay, she substituted a wooden phallus for the one that when Osiris was cut up, she found all the parts of his body, put them back together, couldn't locate the phallus. She had to consummate and procreate with the subterranean. Osiris has a terranean and a subterranean aspect, and and it's talking about electrolysis, because a compost heap generates heat. The heat comes from photons that are created by microbials consuming a certain amount of zinc. In the djed pillar, there's copper and zinc, symbolizing to complete the circuit for the field of electrolysis, but it also works for microbials. They don't need too much zinc, but what they do is they consume a certain amount of zinc, and they go back to the decay, and they start to process the decay, and the copper is there to complete a circuit, which in some form of pre-mass farming, like this is like, there's a difference between cultivating crops for sustenance farming, and mass farming. With the mass farming, you can forget all that knowledge. You can forget the mystery system that was used as a conveyance to pass knowledge down through time. Now, we know that science is initiated in the imagination and drops in fantasy. But there is a educational and an entertainment side of the bleach bone dry. It's the bleach white bone dry aspect of the ancestors in masquerade. It breaks down in education and in entertainment. They have to separate those two. Now we just go straight for the entertainment. Did you notice that the Djed is the Force? Like, by completing the mystery system, you reconstruct the body of Osiris. The Djed is the Force. The Force be with you. But it's the Jedi. So whoever is pumping these like ideas to George Lucas and like probably MK Ultra or something knows this already. But they're skipping the educational side and just focusing on the entertainment. There used to be a breakdown of, you would have had Star Wars entertainment and Star Wars education. But we're mass farming, and we have a different modality from mass farming than you do from sustenance farming. Like, to transfer the knowledge of sustenance farming to the next generation, you use a mystery system. You don't use anyone else's mystery system, you use your own. And then you, like, there's two streams of I guess you could say, like, syntax. They're like syntax, and you don't cross them until all advice and all recommendation is for you to not cross them. Until everybody's telling you not to do it, that's when you do it. Because I can't convey, or like, I can't get people to think unless you irritate a little bit. Nobody's going to do anything about our circumstances, like as far as like the Christ conscious or the Christ energy, like coming to like mankind to try to convey, transmit. So, you know, because like without a receiver, that's a exercise in futility. You need a receiver for a transmitter. You need a transmitter for a receiver, or they're redundant and they're outmoded as a technology, which could make for grotesque history. But the subconscious can translate the sublime in a way that I can't explain, or the way that I can't even decrypt. Because I might start talking about allegories and this and leading you down rabbit holes when the subconscious already has it. But you might ask, what is the subconscious, right? You know, who knows what that is? You know, who can explain also? Like nobody's going to explain. So there's these like ways that you have to dissuade people from trying to explain so they get it. And they're going to be a hostile, a little bit contentious. But that's necessary for you to start thinking. If I don't shake it up a little bit, if I don't dislodge the habit conformity of something that hasn't been sufficient, then you won't have the epiphany. So you have, or the Christ will have to irritate a little bit. Nothing will ever get done. Nothing will ever be transformed. And every time you talk about transformation, it's going to lead into a conversation about power, dynamics, types of power, a diagram for a rig to tap in to some kind of power, or some kind of sublime technology that's in mythology. And it's like elucidate grotesque history with a erotic aspect of quantum field dynamics and shit. Like, it's like when scientists discovered the Higgs boson, they had to find it on a plane, as I would describe a plane, of light and color and shape and energy that's dancing and like kind of it's like vibrant, and it's like dancing, and it's like it's an energetic field. And they didn't know that they were looking for the Higgs boson. It's something that they discovered when it fell in their lap. And the next time that they wanted to research it, They have to build a bigger particle accelerator. Now, is it necessary for it to be 33 degrees away from the equator? The 33rd latitude. Does it have to be the 33rd latitudinal line away from the equator? Like that, it seems like those are just the people that are disinterested in telling you the explaining the technology or the pre-existing science or the technology, and just focusing on education. When the bleach white bone dry aspect of the ancestors in masquerade is broken into entertainment and education. They just focus on the entertainment. So it's like they could explain this shit. By the time they figure out this, the Djed is the Force, and it's the Djed, not the Jedi, and it's the subterranean body of Osiris, the body of context of, in the form of media that was used, that aliens only fuck with, is stone. Like, why, like, if they're, it's so advanced and everything, why do they only fuck with stone?